I am Sharon Arangio, the youngest daughter of Bob and Betty Benner, who owned Team 45 along with Larry and Jeannie Williams.
Yeah. And I'm Linda Holt. I'm the executive director of the Sioux Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Sioux and SAFE, the Sioux Area Foundation for Education.
I wanted to do this because I saw that a lot of companies and individuals were donating, but there wasn't anybody that was from the way back past and what the I-500 was back in the 70s and 80s and 90s even.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that that legacy lived on. I think Dad started racing up here in the 70s, in mid-70s, early 70s, and of course, before I turned 16 and could drive, I would come up, you know, to the races. Mom and Dad had to keep their eye on me, but and then there was a period, a couple years when I graduated high school that I couldn't come because I was busy with that kind of stuff. But man, every year after that, it was the highlight of our winter was to get in the bus and get up to the Sioux. So.
Well, you being a part of the Legends too, helping them out, trying to get them. This is just another part of the Legends.
Absolutely.
This is not just about a track.
Right.
This is about the people.
Oh, and it's a huge family.
Yeah.
And really, how do you know how far you've come if you don't look back once in a while?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my favorite memory of the Sioux is the old lap counting booth. I don't know,
Yes.
is that where the hot seats are?
That's where
now?
the hot seats are now.
And we used to have, well, the city would bring in volunteers to count laps, you know, one person for every team. And then every team would send a representative to stand behind that person to make sure that they actually counted all the laps. And we had all those people in that little itty bitty building, and it was a 10-hour thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't comfortable.
No, it was not. You didn't get to just sit down in a lazy boy recliner and,
No.
you know,
No,
check off laps.
It
was a process.
It was with the bars in there and the people standing and sitting. I mean, it was.
The volunteers were sitting and the people, the representatives from each team were standing.
Yeah.
And,
Well, tell me about your dad and how much he loved racing.
oh my gosh. I think he loved racing more than he loved us kids, actually. He started off with cars and got into the snowmobiles, and Dan Kurtz, our driver in the 70s and 80s, he raced boats in the summertime. So we went from snowmobiles to boats and back to snowmobiles, and just it was everything to him. So much so that when he stopped racing, he kind of thought that racing stopped too. You know, he would, you know, talk about the good old days, but he still thought that he had track records. And, you know, I'm like, Dad, they've moved on and people are still racing. But, you know, as far as he was concerned, racing stopped when he stopped. So it was his life. It was absolutely his life.
And there's so many of them out there. I mean, you just a minute ago gave me all those names. Please tell me a few of those
Terry
names.
Spencer, Tommy St. John, and Brian Musselman, you know, the
Yeah.
people, and they're still racing.
Yeah.
Larry Williams, who was the co-owner with my dad for many, many years. Ken Manning, who had passed away. His brother Warren Manning and I are still pretty close. Oh my gosh, there's just, Guy Useldinger. I remember, Guy Useldinger, and he came from North Dakota.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the furthest away and came to the races.
That's the history that we need to remember. I mean, you're saying those names, and I'm going, oh, there's a chill up my neck saying, I remember those names.
Robbie Diamond.
Yes.
Yeah, Rob Diamond.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
So, you know, this is, and we want that memory here too. And making this new pavilion, you know, it's going to be great, and there'll be a big sign out front of it that everybody's saying who is a part of this, you know. So once again, Sharon, I can't tell you enough. Thank you.
Oh, again, I feel like it was the least I can do, and it was kind of emotional because, you know, Mom passed away in 2008 and Dad passed away in 2020. And one of our drivers that was the backup driver when we won in 1986, Rick Zudell and Jeff Kittmiller were our drivers, and Rick Zudell just passed away. So it makes it that much more important to leave that legacy and to recognize those people that really built this, like your dad, people from the ground.
So if anybody's out there that's hearing this and
Right.
seeing this and you want to donate, we're ready to take more donations.
Absolutely,
We'll take as
absolutely.
many as we can by April 2nd.
April-
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm going to give you a hug.
It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.